Stop for a second. How many people are you today? Think about the last 24 hours. There was the you who texted your mom this morning. Soft voice, using a nickname you'd never say in public. There was the you at work in that meeting, carefully measured, slightly performing competence. There was the you alone in the bathroom mirror, different face, different posture, no audience. And there was the you with your closest friend at 2 a.m. saying things you wouldn't say to anyone else on earth. And there was the you right now. Watching this, reading along, that's 5 different people in one day. And if I asked you to describe yourself, just one answer, one sentence, which of them would you pick? Here's the thing nobody tells you. You don't have a self. You have selves, plural. And the psychological research on this is older, stranger, and way more settled than you'd think. You are not one person. You are 7. Most of us walk around with a very specific assumption. Somewhere underneath all the different ways we act, there's a real us, a core, the authentic self. The one you'd be if you stripped away all the performances, all the masks, all the social noise. This idea is so baked into how we talk that we don't even notice it's a theory. Be yourself. I wasn't being me in that conversation. I just want to find out who I really am. Every one of those sentences assumes there's a single fixed you underneath, a real self, waiting to be discovered. Research psychology has been quietly dismantling this idea for 40 years. The problem starts when you try to actually locate this core self. Because every time researchers tried to catch it, to measure what people are really like independent of context, they found something inconvenient. The core wasn't there. What they found instead was a person who was measurably, dramatically different depending on who they're with and what situation they're in. Not a little different. Fundamentally different. In personality traits, in moral reasoning, in memory, in what they believe about themselves. In 1986, a Stanford psychologist named Hazel Markus ran a study that changed how serious researchers talk about identity. She asked people to describe themselves in 5 different contexts: at work, with family, with friends, alone, and in public. Then she compared the descriptions. They barely overlapped. Same person, same week. 5 self-portraits that looked like 5 different humans. And the interesting finding wasn't just that people behave differently in different rooms. We all know that. The finding was that they believe different things about themselves in different rooms. Your self-concept literally changes shape depending on what context you're in. Marcus called this the working self-concept. You don't carry your identity around like a passport. You load the version of yourself the moment requires. Okay, so how many of these working selves do you have? The honest answer is we don't know exactly, it varies. But if you sit down and actually try to list them, you'll hit a number. Most people find surprising. Try it right now. Count the distinct yous. There's the you with your mother, there's the you with your father. And if your parents are still together, those are probably not the same you. There's the you at work with your boss. There's a different you at work with your coworkers. Those are 2 separate performances with 2 separate vocabularies. There's the you with your romantic partner, which is not the same as the you on a first date with a stranger. There's the you with your closest friend, the one who knows where the bodies are buried. There's the you alone, when nobody is watching and nobody will ever know. That's 7 at minimum. And I'm being conservative. Add in the you on social media, the you in a job interview, the you at a funeral versus the you at a wedding. The you when you're sick, the you when you're drunk, the you in your own head at 3 a.m., when you can't sleep. The number climbs fast. And none of these are performances over a true self. That's the part people miss. Each of them is you. Each of them is running on real cognition, making real decisions, holding real values. They are not masks. They are versions. Here's the test. If you think one of these is the real you and the others are fake, ask yourself. The real one is supposed to be the constant one, right? So take the you that shows up alone in the bathroom at 3 a.m. and put it in a meeting with your boss tomorrow. It won't work. It can't work. That version doesn't have access to the social skills the meeting requires. It's not a mask problem. It's a context problem. The right version gets loaded for the right room. So if there's no core self, how do these versions stay stable? Why isn't it pure chaos? This is where a psychologist named William Swann comes in. Swann spent his career on something called self-verification theory. And the finding is genuinely weird. We don't just accept how people see us, we actively shape it. And then we use their reflection to shape ourselves back. Think about it this way. Your mom sees a version of you that was formed when you were 12. Your best friend sees the version that was formed in the chaos of whatever you went through together. Your boss sees a version that started in the interview. Each of them is holding a partial mirror, and here's the Swann finding. You will work, often unconsciously, to make each of those mirrors stay consistent. You'll behave differently around your mom because her mirror expects that behavior. You'll match your boss's mirror. You'll slip into your best friend's mirror automatically the moment you hear their voice. This isn't fake, it's structural. The self that exists between you and your mom is a real thing, built out of thousands of micro interactions over decades. It lives in the space between you. When she dies, that self dies with her. You can never get it back because it was never just yours. Some of the grief after losing someone close is exactly this. A version of you stops existing because the mirror stops existing. Most people go their whole lives without noticing this is happening. They think they're just being themselves. They're actually running 7 to 20-something distinct selves, each calibrated to a specific audience, each partially constructed by the people in that audience. You might be thinking, okay, but why? Why would evolution design us this way? Wouldn't it be more efficient to just have one consistent self? Actually, no, it would be catastrophic. The evolutionary psychologist Robin Dunbar is famous for calculating that humans evolved to operate in tribes of about 150 people. That's the natural size of a social group we can actually track and maintain. In that tribe, you had to be different things to different people. You were someone's child, someone's sibling, someone's romantic partner, someone's rival, someone's apprentice, someone's leader. The version of you that works for a parent does not work for a rival. The version that works for a romantic partner does not work for an apprentice. These aren't the same relationships, they require different versions. A human with one fixed self would have been a terrible tribe member. Rigid, unreadable, dangerous. They would have been pushed out or killed. The multi-self architecture isn't a bug, it's the whole thing. It's what lets you love your kid differently, then you love your partner differently than you love your oldest friend. It's what makes human social life possible at all. The uncomfortable implication is that the thing most people call just be yourself is, genetically speaking, terrible advice. You have never in your life been just one self. Your ancestors survived precisely because they weren't. So what do you do with this? I'll tell you what I think. And you can disagree. The discomfort most people feel when they hear this idea. But then which one is really me? That discomfort is the problem, not the multiplicity. The question isn't which self is real. They're all real. The question is whether you know them. Most people have never sat down and actually inventoried their selves, named them, noticed which ones they like and which ones they don't, noticed which ones come out around which people and whether those people are bringing out versions of you that you actually want to be. Because here's the thing Swann's research implies, and this is the part that's useful. If the people around you are building versions of you through their mirrors, then who you spend time with isn't a neutral choice. Each person in your life is constructing a self you then have to live inside. Some of your selves are good, some are not. And the people who activate the bad ones, the versions of you you're ashamed of, the defensive one, the small one, those people are not neutral. They are literally building a version of you, and then you have to be that version every time you see them. You can't delete selves, but you can notice which ones you're keeping alive, and who's keeping them alive with you. You are not one person. You are a committee, a rotating cast, a working self-concept that loads whichever version the moment demands. There is no core underneath. There's just the versions and the people who activate them and the choices about which of those people you keep in the room. Most of you is automatic. All of you is real. Your brain, decoded.